welcome to our guests here in the council chambers. Our first order of the day for the 1 o'clock meeting is to call to order the grant hearing for the Aquatic Facilities Grant. And I will introduce someone who doesn't need an introduction, our Director of Parks and Grant, Patty Tinsley Pettit. Madam Director.
Today we're having one of two public input meetings that are required for the grant, and Seth has put together a slide and he's going to be doing it, but we also have copies of the slide, and anybody that would like a comment card and a pen, just let us know and we'll give you one of those.
Thank you.
Okay, Seth.
Thank you, Patty.
Am I going to be able to change it on my own? Okay. And I'll say this is a long slide presentation.
Can you turn so the people in the back can see it?
We're for the first time the LPRF grant requirements for the PowerPoint presentation is has a checklist of 15 items that we have to have on it. And some of them are paragraphs, so there is a lot of words. Don't worry, I'm not going to read all those things to you, but we do have a copy of the presentation that you can scroll through and look at that. It is really important to us to actually hear from you, and so we have comment cards and a sign-in sheet. So if you didn't hit the sign-in sheet on the way in, hit it on the way out. But we have comment cards and pens that we're going to hand out. Whatever your comments are, they're yours, and we want you to be able to share with us, whatever those comments are. Those are vital important. So make a comment if it's great or don't like it or whatever it is, or it can be as detailed as you like. Your voice is your voice, and we want to hear from
When
you.
is the other meeting?
It's on Tuesday, the 17th at 5:45 p.m.
The 16th or 17th?
It's right before the Planning Commission meeting.
Where is that?
Here.
So, we are applying for $3.5 million through the LPRF grant fund. We think this is a really good fit, and this is part of the indoor sports events and aquatics center that hopefully everybody's familiar with. But for the purpose of this presentation and the grant, we are only talking about the natatorium, just the indoor swim part. That's the only part we're applying for funds for. So as part of the requirements, we need to look at the census demographics of the community that we wish to serve. This is the city of Cleveland. We have our racial diversity on the left, our income distribution here in the top right, and our population by age in the bottom. And this is from the 2020 census, our most recent completed census, and just sharing who we are. We have, at the census, I think we're a little bit more than this now, but at the time of census, 6 years ago, we were 47,356 people, and we currently have 222.82 acres in our parks and recreation system in the city. This starts some of the long words. This is really important if you have thoughts and ideas. We're trying to be inclusive and catch everything that we think will work in that facility. Learn to swim programs, fitness, wellness, competitive and team sports, trainings, certifications, special events, birthday parties, rentals, and then other seasonal offerings, maybe underwater hockey, scuba diving, snorkeling, things of that nature. What are your thoughts and ideas for this program? This is important for us to hear from you. What means the most to you? Creating a positive impact. We believe an natatorium will help with upgraded health and wellness for our community. There are economic wins where we have savings on old pools that we have in the system right now. Chemicals, repairs. There's obviously a loss of time when those are shut down for repairs. And we work to hopefully future-proof our infrastructure with the latest and best in pump systems and pool operations to be able to reduce our levels of closures for swimming. And then, of course, it's indoor, so year-round. We don't, if it's 10 degrees out, you can still come swim. And then swim meets, brain-glass hotel and motel nights, better community access, safe indoor programs for young families. Spectator seating also builds civic pride. Project goal, our service area is Cleveland and Bradley County residents, but we also see this as an overall facility that will be a prime spot for regional sports tourism. And I think it's going to become a new destination for the whole region. We do need help with this. This isn't a done deal. The county commission and our city council working together is how this becomes reality. And so we do need some help. Potential users, youth and family, seniors and adults, athletes, clubs, and the community at large. We do see this as an accessible and inclusive place where all people are welcome. Needs met, modernizing that aquatic infrastructure with reliable all-weather access, driving economic activity, consolidating services to create savings in our existing park system, and as I mentioned earlier, reducing closures. Our means of funding and site suitability. The city council did approve in the property tax increase this past year, one of those 3 cents to go towards this facility. And then we also have hotel tax funds that are coming from folks that are visiting Cleveland, staying and spending a few dollars with us. We'll use those to help meet projected funding needs. And then we are asking for $3.5 million from the state of Tennessee and the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation through this grant.
What is the total cost?
We're getting into it. Site suitability, we are working with developers at the Hardwick Farm site. This is, we do have ease of development there where we have flat acreage. We have a developer that has proven local expertise, easy access from Lee Highway and close to I-75 for those regional tournaments, and obviously very high visibility in that corridor.
I'm not familiar. Where is that?
We're going to get to it. Future site development. This natatorium project will be developed in tandem with the Indoor Sports and Entertainment Center. We have a water park. We got a lot of comments on the Facebook post, and we love those because all of those were, nearly all of those were just absolutely spot on with what the community is seeing, our needs, and what the city council is being responsive to. And we love when those two are one and the same. Here we have
Can you point out where 75 is? I'm not, I live here now, but I'm not familiar with where this is.
Sure. So this is Lee Highway. This is Stewart Road is right here, and Stewart Road goes straight to I-75.
And where's the Y?
The Y is actually right back over here. It's fairly close. The site will be programmed as a regional hub and of recreational and commercial activity for all people. So you can see here proposed commercial district. You can see some of the residential areas that are also proposed bordering this complex. We get into meeting 22 of the statewide comprehensive outdoor recreational plan goals that the state has set. This is an important tie-in, and if you have the note page, you see that there's pages and pages. Each one of these goals that we are hitting with our vision here has a summary paragraph to go with it. Y'all can read, and so please do, and please leave your comments with us. But I wanted to let you know we are hitting 22 of those Vision 2030 goals for the state of Tennessee. And that's vital for our application process. And I'll say these are goals under advocacy and education. We have goals under collaboration and economic success, conservation, and also inclusivity, diversity, equity, access, and affordability. And those were all set by the state of Tennessee in their 5-year Vision 2030 goals. And I think we're doing a really good job at hitting a lot of those. The development timeline, we already submitted our intent to apply for this grant in January. The full application is due April 1st. And thank you. Yes, there will be a second public hearing next Tuesday, the 17th at 5:45 p.m. back in this room. So share with your neighbors. We are looking to begin our design. We do have architectural and engineering requests for qualifications out. They've been advertised. They are due back on March 24th. And it'll probably be 3 or so weeks to get those evaluated. And we may need to interview our top firms and then get a recommendation to our city council for them to review and hopefully approve. The LPRF award contract execution comes in July, and then we look to, by the end of the year, have our contractor and our management process beginning by the end of this year. That leads us to an anticipated opening date at the end of 2028. So 2.5 years to get this, and we think we can hit that. Project design elements. We have the square footage programmed here. The natatorium itself is a little over 18,000 square feet. And the things that are included in this is we're looking at a 25-yard competitive swim pool, 10 lanes, and seating for something in the neighborhood of 750 spectators. And then, of course, all of your change rooms, your pool and pump operations space, storage space, and then looking at some party, birthday party rooms that you can have meetings or you can have birthday parties, things of that nature. And when we look at the programming for that size facility, again, carving this out of a much larger facility, but we are seeing our estimated cost and startup expenses as just less than $9 million. I didn't mention, but this is a 50-50 grant, so we have to put in at least dollar for dollar, and you can see that we're actually doing really well to leverage those funds, and we're coming in over that 50-50 match, which I think helps us. We did do some research. Our city council and Ms. Patty and our staff went and toured Morristown Landing. They have a facility that's just a couple years there that's a good product for us to look at and get an idea of an actual real picture of what we're talking about here. You can see accessible pool, multiple lanes, facility all under one roof with the spectator seating. We've toured some other facilities, but we think this one was as close as what we're looking at here to be able to show the public exactly what we're talking about. And then another picture of how this plays out. And the natatorium, the indoor pool part would be across one end of the building here, with an outdoor water park outside of it, and then 8 basketball courts on the inside for the total facility. Our project location, you asked this earlier, so this is where I-75, Keith Street here, and that's where we're looking on this corner. When we look at the property to determine, I think I've got a larger picture. Yeah, there it is. topographic map with preliminary site plan. So we saw, I'll go back to it. This one, we're talking about where this actually is on the property. This will give you a good idea of what that space looks like today with just one tree line and mitigating any kind of stream resources that we have on the property there. There's our presentation. Please, I believe in equality of voices.
You meant,
Just a sec. I believe in equality of voices, and I think everybody gets an opportunity to write whatever you want to say. Please take a comment card, make a comment, leave it with us. We want to hear from you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just looking at the bigger scope of the whole community, because this looks like, I'm not from here, but I live here. This is on the north side of town. Where are you closing these other pools? Because it's, to me, I'm just hearing generally, closing these other pools may all of a sudden not have access to these people living in the the south side of towns. So to me, this doesn't seem like the best fit. I mean, I understand you got the land, but for access for the people that you want to learn how to swim,
Mhm.
this is not it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, thank you.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. The two pools that we consistently have the most issues out of are the Tinsley Pool and the Denning Center Pool. Those are 50-plus years old, constant maintenance issues. And this is an opportunity for us to seek, bringing our folks' tax dollars back from Nashville to help build a facility and somewhat do some future proofing and be able to have a world-class facility that's open to all of our folks.
You say, but it's just these people don't have access to get there.
Yeah, we have the community center in Mosby.
We do have a pool on the south side. Yes, ma'am.
Mosby Park as well.
Yes, and we'll keep those open.
So just for clarification, there are two swim teams, and one is at South Cleveland and one's at Tinsley. So the one at Tinsley would get this to practice in and swim in. Would this be now that swim team's home pool?
I think this pool is for everybody. I think
So, but if you're planning on closing Tinsley, do you have a plan for where to have them swim? I mean, I don't have a problem swimming there. I just
They'll
wanna
be
make sure this is
swimming
where
there,
your
but
plan is.
other teams will be there also.
yes.
So both water dogs and cats will use that as their practice center?
Yes, ma'am.
How would that work
Right
if
now.
both teams practice at the same time?
You just said that you're not closing South Cleveland. I just want clarification. So you're not closing South Cleveland Pool, so water dogs will continue to be there, correct?
They can.
And they can have their meets here.
Yeah, we don't have an
Okay,
issue
yeah.
with sharing the pool necessarily. I think what we're thinking is if Tinsley's getting closed, which we love Tinsley with all of its,
But we know.
molds and everything.
Sure.
It's so pretty.
But if it's getting closed, then I want to make sure that our team would have the same access without having to pay or fine to say, hey, if you close down our pool,
Where are we?
can we use this one in the same way that we're using the other one?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. We want to work with you to make sure that all of our existing teams, and we're talking to our school system for having teams and expanding teams to give those opportunities. We want to maximize those opportunities within the community.
Okay.
And I think it's a scheduling issue, and that's something that we will absolutely.
And you might want to say that it is 10 lanes,
Yes.
so that you can hold two practices at the same
No,
time.
I can't. That's fine.
All right.
No. I was asking this gentleman behind me also, because you're saying you're gearing it towards the swim teams, and you also mentioned seniors. The seniors typically need a warmer water temperature versus a swim team, because a swim team, as I've done both, it has a cooler temperature because it's like you're aerobically working out.
That's all right.
So a 10-lane pool typically doesn't have a separation of water temperatures. I'll put that in my comment.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly where I was going. Any of those comments, that's what we want. Put them on those cards, so we'll carry them and we'll have them with us.
So I have another clarification question. So, city's putting at least 3.5 million, we're getting 2.5 million from the grant, but still leaves roughly 3 million left. Are we getting that from county? Where's that other 3 million? Or is the city financing 7 million?
I think we would love to see the county partner with us. I think our city council, not to speak for them, but we're very much open with any level of partnership that the county wants to be on this.
Okay, so what forays have we made to make that happen?
We have been discussing with county officials for the last few months, and we've had county officials come to the previous public input meetings that have led to this, and so we're having those discussions.
I think that they should.
We agree.
Thank you.
And I just moved to the county and I think that
We
should.
support that 100%.
So if there's anything you need me to do, I will do it. Because I want to.
Yeah, go-
Seth, please get her name and number.
Yeah.
Hey, seriously, go to the meeting.
In fact, they're meeting right now,
Yeah,
even
they're
as we
meeting right
speak.
now.
They're done.
Oh, they're done already?
I just did a pledge and prayer.
Wow. I'm thankful to hear your support. We agree. And we would very much welcome a full partnership.
I think that is necessary for the whole area.
We would love
It's
that.
an honor.
Are there any other comments or questions?
In the same vein of what we're saying before, if Tinsley is closed, again, I understand why you can't invest in everything at the same time, but we have had, as a swim team, we've had the blessing of being able to use that pool without having to pay as if it was a private facility. And if I'm not mistaken, in the last meeting, there was a conversation about the same company that is building the facility, that is going to administer the facility. Is the city gonna say, hey, we have this swim team that we have been working to, or these swim teams that we have been working together, and we don't want this, the people running and administering this to say, well, now you have to pay whatever amount of thousands of dollars to be able to use our pool, if it's gonna replace the city facility that we have been able to use regularly.
I'll let our city manager, Mr. Fivas, answer that.
Yeah, I think the goal is to just make the easiest transition as possible, as far as the services that you were receiving before, would be transferred, there. You know, I think there's some decisions that need to be worked out for timing and all those things, but the goal is to be able to make it as seamless as possible and as affordable as possible for everyone to be able to access the facility.
And I think it's important also you've mentioned or used the phrase, because you're closing Tinsley. I think what we're trying to do is extend the life of Tinsley as long as we possibly can,
I'm all for that.
because it is coming to an end naturally.
Yeah.
And this is a wonderful opportunity that I'm very proud of the city staff that they've located this grant opportunity. I encourage partnership with both the city and the county to get this done as quickly as possible. I'm encouraged to see the 2028, because I'm not sure how much longer our Dare Denning Center and our senior Tinsley pool is going to keep.
On that, Al, do you have any thoughts on the Denning Center and what the condition of that is?
It's awful.
Isn't that succinct? It's awful.
At any time, all the hangers could rust out. We've already had the pipes shear off from the pool and fall. We have micro leaks in the pool. So all the tile, in order to fix the Denning Center pool, you've got to pull all the tile out of the pool and off the top of it. We're talking about a lot of money that has to be spent. So the Denning Center pool is, I mean, we're right now, we're piecing it together until this piece gets figured out. Just being very honest with you, that's what we're doing. We're struggling to keep the pool up and going for our swim teams, for our school system, as well as our outside team. So just, you know,
This is a good thing.
that's where we are.
Yes. Absolutely, I did not
against it.
imply because you're doing this, simply because our team, the pool that we swim now won't be in the picture. Just wanna make sure that they're not gonna be like, did they use this pool, it's just gonna cost you, $3,000.
All right, one last
But,
question.
but I would say what Hal said is ditto on the Tinsley pool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it gonna be grounded? Evidently, that's a possibility. I didn't know it was, but evidently it is. Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's a requirement.
Okay, well, somewhere. Cool, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Denning Center is where I learned to scuba dive, and it was an incredible experience. And I'm just thinking, where is this new center somewhere where you could also learn to scuba dive?
yeah,
Is that
think
gonna
that-
be
I
put
think that
in
would be
there
the-
where?
I think that would be for them to figure out.
Yeah, I saw that, but also, I'm a member of Ace Kayaking School and TVCC. And that's also another very important thing for me to be able to practice rolling in the winter time because it's too cold outside. And I'm also an elementary school teacher, and I would love to see that expanded for our young population to get them off of their devices and have something not necessarily competitive based, like the swim teams and things like that. So I would love to see, is this center somewhere where we could also do kayak rolling? as
Because
well
that
as
leads
scuba
to people coming to the area also to
Yes,
use the Ocoee
yes.
River.
diving. The
When I
Ocoee is
moved here, because of the Ocoee
The
River,
Ocoee,
and
yes.
I'm looking for a winter pool session.
You get people from all over the world coming to the Ocoee River for whitewater kayaking, and I think that would really increase.
I think you're spot on, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Councilman Cassidy?
Please make sure it's on the comment card. And
You need
we,
another one?
That's what I was gonna say, the people,
does everybody have a comment card that wants
I
one?
can get all of my
You need
kayaking
more?
buddies.
that's what I was gonna ask the people, if you would put those comments on the comment card and turn them in, we'll take those under consideration. Yes, ma'am, we sure will.
Seth, are there emails that other members of these organizations that aren't here can send comments to?
Absolutely.
That's the last slide, I think.
So,
Chris,
Also,
can we,
is this presentation something that you could put electronic version of so that I could send it out to the clubs
yes,
and then they could comment on it? Maybe?
Yes.
That would be an easier
we
way.
can do that.
if you put your email on there, they'll just email it to you. Is that okay, Seth?
So,
Yes.
I'm a grandmother of 2 children on the swim team who practice at the South Cleveland pool. But in the winter, the oldest one, they practice at the Denning Center. And, I have memories of the Denning Center when my oldest son, who's being buried, was, he was an infant and doing those infant swim things and thinking, this place needs to close. I mean, and then when I found out it was still operational and my grandson was swimming in there, and sometimes they don't have heat for the pool, so they have to do it from the air or something. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but I'm so excited that there's gonna be a great indoor place that the kids can swim. I mean, that South Cleveland pool is pretty small, and the numbers of kids that practice on that Water Dogs, I know nothing about the North Cleveland one, but other than it's great, but I mean, it's a huge number of kids. I don't know how they all even fit for a practice there. I mean, of course, they have multiple sessions in the mornings, but I mean, we have a big. Without a great pool, we have a lot of kids that swim, and I'm looking forward to the high schools having some really terrific teams and places to practice. And I mean, we still have the Y that's very, the other great indoor pool that gets a lot of use and has a lot of water exercises and things for all ages there. One thing that you mentioned about elementary kids, my sister is in Cookville at Tennessee. She's retired from the school system, but she still volunteers. Every Tuesday, they bring second graders to the pool there for swim lessons. They bus them for an hour, or they have swim lessons. They do 6 weeks, and every child that goes through elementary school has swim lessons during their second grade year. And I think that's a great thing for our community to have. She does it as a volunteer, so there's many opportunities, and I'll be sure to write that one down. About the swim lessons for kids.
Thank you so much.
I'm very, very grateful for all the comments. Are there any other comments or questions for the staff or any of us before we close this public hearing? Seeing none, thank you for all the comments. We're very grateful.
I will add
Sure.
that we have had I mean, you talked about the county, is that we view that this is a countywide facility. You know, we met last Friday with the schools, and they have basically said that they're very interested in doing this from the county, and the city obviously is as well, is that this is, and my point is that the YMCA is that we don't want to hurt the YMCA's business model. They have a different business model. This is more for competitive swimming and fulfilling that niche that these other facilities are very, very costly. You know, the operation costs at Tinsley, you know, we probably spend 3 times as much in operational because there's leaks in Tinsley that we lose all of our chemicals all the time. My guess is your operational costs are probably very high, Hal.
Yeah.
I mean, just what they would, and that's having the new, just an operational cost that will do that. But this is meant to truly be a community facility, and that's why we think that the county will come to the table and help fund and be a part of this. And you know, there's probably too much swimming and the scheduling becomes difficult, but I think that those are all good problems to try to solve.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. Fivas. Any other comments? We will determine that this public hearing for the aquatic facility grant has been closed. Thank you all very much. You're welcome to stay for the riveting and exciting 1 o'clock work session. Or if those of you who are here with our swim families would like to be excused, now is the great time to do that.
Mayor.
Yes.
I wanted to know where to leave the car.
We could leave them right there with Seth. Seth, we have some folks that
I'll
want to
stand here and I'll
turn in their
keep everybody
cards.
Going. I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Right here.
If you'll leave the comment cards on the podium with the screen, and if you have other emails or other comments you'd like to send us, we welcome that.
And if you don't have a pen, wave at Seth and he'll get you something.
Yes.
You can have mine. I'm tired of writing already.
Who do we need to email as far as?
It is actually on the last page of that presentation that's on the other side of that screen.
Okay,
And send it out to your friends and Jamie Kyle.
gotcha.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
All right, we will now call into session our 1 o'clock work session for the Cleveland City Council, Monday, March the 9th. Mr. Fivas, welcome back.
Yes, thank you for that. I think that was a good informational session. We obviously will have additional information to provide as we go through the process, and this is just that initial trying to get some public support, and I think we did a great job of showing that public support. The first thing we want to kick off with is to hear a presentation from the Land Bank Authority. And they have a requirement to report back to the council every now and then. And but they also have some fantastic news to announce. And one of our representatives, Bill Estes, is on there, and he's not here today. Ken Webb, I'll hand it to you as a board member, and then you can introduce Dustin to come up and give the report on where we're at.
Thank you, Joe. Back in 2024, this council did form the Land Bank Authority, Cleveland Land Bank Authority. And we talk about the tools that we have in our toolbox for revitalization and renovation and updating and so forth. And this was just another tool that we actually received under state law. It was allowed. And it's basically designed, if we have derelict properties in the city that have not been kept up, are very delinquent in their taxes, this is a process that we can go through. The Land Bank Authority actually acquires these properties and then returns them back to the tax rolls to individuals or entities for redevelopment. The title issues are cleared up through the courts. And basically they go back on the tax roll. And once they're developed, they become good assets for the city of Cleveland, just like your home or my home. And so far, we've acquired 3 properties through the courts. And there's a process that's set out in state law about how you do that. Those properties have now been sold. They will be developed. They'll be added back to the tax roll. Problems that some of them were creating in the neighborhoods have been resolved as far as lack of upkeep or, in one case, criminal activity in one of those, alleged criminal activity in one of those locations. So Dustin is here today to explain to us. He has a handout I think everyone has in front of them. Kind of explains about what has happened on the authority since it was formed and some specific information about those 3 properties. Dustin has been the real workhorse in all of this. And as Joe said, Bill Estes and I have the honor of sitting on the Land Bank Authority board. And we're appreciative of what the council has done in allowing this to come about and us to actually use it for the benefit of the community.
Thanks for having me, Dustin, Tommy. And last month in February, we sold the first 3 properties that the Land Bank has acquired. Those properties, we see the return on investment for those properties in real dollars for the city in approximately 7 years. On your handout, it says a little bit longer, but that's just tax revenue coming back to the city. Every year that these properties have been derelict, vacant, abandoned, we're having to have Public Works and Tommy's crews go out and mow these properties. There's been liens on them. And so that's not going to happen anymore. So those are additional expenses in addition to the tax revenue that we've lost from these properties that we'll see that return on investment as a city in approximately 7 years. But the sale of these properties was to City Fields, who's going to redevelop them as affordable single-family homes for first-time home buyers. And the averages right now we're seeing for new construction in that part of town, the tax revenue is close to $1,000 per unit for the city and county. So we're going from properties that 10 years ago had homes on them that were 70, 80, 90 years old that were in bad shape. There were 2 house fires, both had demolition liens. And after those liens, the city's tax revenue from those was only like $300. And after that happened, they went down to, as just vacant land, approximately $50 per lot. And so we're going to be seeing really quality housing going back there. That part of the Blythe Oldfield neighborhood has really been stuck in a way. There's been some challenges in that area because there's several properties like this, and by doing this, we're going to see a ripple effect of positive economic growth in the south part of the Blythe Oldfield neighborhood. And I'm proud and thankful for the work that the board has done, and I'm willing to take any questions you may have.
Yeah.
Councilman May.
About how long does it take to clear the title on this property from the time you receive notice that?
We work with Burns Henry Kirksey to do the action to quiet title, and that typically takes 5 or 6 months.
Okay. And I think too, it can involve what is the issue on the title. Some are easier to resolve than others.
So each properties would kind of have its own unique,
Sometimes you'll have a piece of property that there may be 50 heirs that own an interest in it, as opposed to 1 or 2 owners.
Yeah. I see.
They can get kind of complicated. One thing Dustin didn't mention that I think is very important is that we have seen other properties in the city that were falling under some of these same kind of problems that the owners have stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
And begun to make improvements to catch taxes up on. So you're seeing improvements in a lot of different areas, I think.
Yeah, and to build on that, so the board identifies a property that is having issues, that's just sitting there, and the heirs might be in California. And then they reach out to them and say, hey, here's this process, and we're going down this pathway, unless you can get rid of your property. And what we've seen is that sometimes they go and they clean it up, or they do something, or they sell it, or do that. But if they don't, this mechanism gives them the ability to go to court and to in a fair manner, that they have the ability to fix whatever the issues are. And I think the ones we've had is just, there was just no heirs at all, that we couldn't even get a hold of anyone. So the property would have sat there for 100 years before anything happened. And so, you know, how many communities in the state are actually using this law?
There are 4: Memphis, Chattanooga, West, and Oak Ridge. And I just spoke with Oak Ridge representative last week about how they're using it, and they've got some innovative things going on as well. Memphis, of course, is a different animal, but we are one of only 4 cities in the state to have a land bank authority.
Yeah, I think it's great clearing up and cleaning up the neighborhoods.
And these are properties that have been a lot of times offered at delinquent tax sale, and that were so far gone that even the folks that are buying the properties at those sales are like, no, I'll pass on that, because the liens have built up so much and the taxes have built up so much. But we're able to utilize this tool and these state laws to get these properties back on the tax roll.
And we talked some about city-county relationships. The county benefits from this also, in that these properties are back on the tax roll for city and county taxes. Dustin, weren't there about 8 additional properties that we've identified that probably, because of the land bank, have had improvements from the owners?
Yes.
I know Councilman Goff has a question, but before that, Vice Mayor, I should know this, but are there members of the county on the land bank board?
Yes, Cindy Slater, County Commissioner.
Because that's a significant amount of money that we are partnering to get them back.
Yes. Yes. I will point out, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the council has invested $75,000 in the land bank.
Yes.
Our last bank statement showed that after we had gone through the process of acquiring these properties, and there was quite a bit of expense at the beginning because of just the legal work that had to be done to get the process in place. If I'm not mistaken, our last bank statement showed a balance of $79,000.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
it's been a good investment.
Councilman Goff?
Great investment.
How do we go about, we just sold 3 properties. How do we go about selling those? Is it an auction? Is it a silent bid process?
Typical way, there's some latitude there, but typical way is through a bid process where we put out a request for bids, and that's how we did that this time. We wouldn't always have to do that. There's rules like there's a side lot disposition program that we can implement, where if an adjacent property owner expresses an interest in it, they can have an opportunity to negotiate directly with us. But there's some flexibility there, but typically it's going to be a bid process.
So let's be clear, you put it out to bid in any private developer or
Yes.
anyone else that has the same option, they probably have to bring to the board what their plan is
Yes.
and say what their investment's gonna be and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a detailed, bid packet, just like what we would do at the city. And we received two bids on this one, very comparable. One, they both had affordable housing as their stated goals, and, we ranked those as a board, and the board, selected them to be the purchaser.
And we just don't release the properties after the bid process to anyone that wants to submit a bid. There are requirements of what they have to do with the property.
Yes,
to-
there are clawbacks.
Submitted with their
to
bid.
say if they didn't do that, we have clawbacks to,
Yeah.
within the next.
Now, do they have a time element
2
that's
years.
involved in developing?
2 years.
Yeah, good.
Where is it, Don, where is it put out the bid? Where is it, what do you put in the paper or what do you do?
We
Where
did
do
this,
you find out?
Cleveland Daily Banner, public notice, and also on the city's website, there's a department, land bank authority right next to some of the other authorities, and that has a page, and we included the links there. We also sent it out to, via email to local developers.
All right, any other comments or questions for Mr. Tomney or Vice Mayor Webb, member of the Land Bank Authority?
A good program.
Do we have, Justin, do we have any more houses lit?
There are some that we're looking at right now, but there are not any that the land bank currently owns at this time.
That was my question.
All right. Thank you, sir, and thank you, Vice Mayor.
You're welcome, thank you.
Mr. Fivas, we're still on special presentations and public comments, or are you ready for your report?
No, when you're ready.
No, 100%. Welcome back.
You're very welcome. I think that you, Miss Marcia, you had some announcements. You want to do that now or during your presentation?
I can do it during mine.
Okay. Oh, okay, just want to make sure.
Thank you.
All right. Probably the big news of the day is that we finally have a grand opening date and time for Jim Sharp Park. That is May 16th at 12 noon. We'll make it probably a pretty big deal. We'll have some festivities and some giveaways and some stuff. The Sharp family will be there. They're having extended family come in, and then Ron Gardner, basically, or Ron Barker rather, is going to be there with his family as well, since they donated one of the key pieces of property for this. Everything's going very well out at Jim Sharp Park. It is officially in the hands of the city. We have closed it from the contractor. This contractor, which was Chasler, just did a fabulous job. They're very easy to work with. They had the ebb and the flow of reacting to things that needed to be done, and they've come off, and we would speak very highly of their efforts in getting this done. The pond, which we had issues with, the pond that would not hold water, which is a problem. We ended up putting a liner in that.
The no fishing pond?
It only took us about, I think it was like $1,500 to actually put the liner out there, so that was a good investment. The question that we've had, are there fish in the fish pond? And there are no fish that we know of in the fish pond right now, that we have to wait several months for the essentially for the bugs and the aquatic ecosystem to regulate, and then we will We know that we will buy, pods of, bass and bluegill and, crappie and I don't know, what other kind of fish are in that? Fish. Brim. And, so we will let everyone know, when that will be.
Kim, we need to have at
That
least
we'll have the
one.
mayor out there doing the release of the fish. Just to show.
Swim with the fishes.
Until we get our first big storm and the water comes up over the pond.
Only if Patty's with me.
And, but the park turned out very well. If you haven't been by there, in the evening, there's jam-packed. And it's just, it's gone exceedingly well. And I'm not gonna identify Mr. Webb because I know the question that he's gonna ask me. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I came by there just a few minutes ago.
How many cars?
The parking lot at the park was full. There were children everywhere. The parking lot across the street down on Candy's Lane, I didn't stop. I tried to count as I was going by. There were at least 20 cars in it. It's been very well received.
It's spring break week, isn't it?
There were people walking on the sidewalk
Wow.
back toward Rolling Hills and from Rolling Hills toward the park. So it's been very well received.
We need to tell the chamber, spend your spring break at Jim Sharp Park.
There you go.
Not yet. We
After May
are-
16th.
We are doing some last minute landscaping. There will be a decent amount of sod put in. We still
it
have our
closed?
bushes and flowers and all
Were the
that stuff
entrances
to be put
closed?
in, and that will be done before
Doors,
May 16th.
gates.
No, it's open.
And probably the biggest thing is that we have had blessed with having the owner of the property that has the other parking lot for the Greenway is to donate property to the city to be able to enlarge that parking lot down there when we deem that we're ready to do that. And so that's probably on a front burner from what we've seen so far. But as our parking issues become more relevant, we have the ability to react to that.
Councilman Cassidy.
Joe, I just want to extend my thanks out to city council, everybody on city council that's approved this Jim Sharp Park. Also Mr. Barker, also the city staff and how they work towards this process. Tommy, y'all have done a great job with it too. Everybody has done a great job, and it's been a great asset for the 3rd District. And I truly want to thank everybody on the council and everybody involved in making a great park in the 3rd District that is greatly needed with the Greenway too. It's going to be used quite a bit. So thank you to everybody on that part.
I may have said this before, and if I have, I apologize, but I was on Freewell Road over the weekend, and I went by Hopewell School. And if you look at the new sidewalk that's on Highway 60,
yeah,
when everything is done, you will be able to go from the back door of Hopewell School to Fletcher Park.
That's right.
Well, if we get the freewheel done with sidewalks down one side and Candy's, the sidewalk finished, and Villa Drive finished, there's no way you can walk in any area in the 3rd District. Those corridors, those 3 corridors, 2 couple corridors, will give you access to walk anywhere in the 3rd District. Very small.
Actually, you'll be able to get from any district in the city on a sidewalk to any other district.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job. So I'll ask the $1 million question. Can you build the new parking lot before the May 16th grand opening? Asking for a friend.
I've got another question. Can we put a parking garage there, Joe?
In normal
That way if it floods,
circumstances,
you can get.
we would do that. We are probably trying to do everything we can to get Tinsley Park opened up. And
Sure.
I would not want to open up another project.
I don't want to stop another one to, yeah.
But it'll likely, it's just like when you open up a restaurant in Cleveland, it's really, really crowded.
Yeah.
And we have to get through this first initial rush and see as it levels out is, do we need the additional parking? So I think that that's what we
That's
intend
fair.
to do. And
I think you
and
will.
we may, and we're ready to do that, fairly quickly, especially after we get done Tinsley.
Joe, meantime, they can just park on the grass. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything as long as it, you know, up to that point.
Over the weekend, they were parked on the grass.
Yeah.
They had set up tents and were having picnics.
That's good.
I mean,
Really?
yes, yes,
On the rolling hillside?
yes,
Did you take a picture?
yes. No, not of the tent. I did not get one of the tent. There's a limit is what I can do when I'm driving.
Yeah, pull over. Be safe.
To follow up on Councilman May's comments from 2 weeks ago about Tinsley Park, I did drive through Tinsley Park this morning. Boy, when it is completed, it's gonna be a jewel.
Yeah.
It is really looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy and the city and contractor on the buildings, all, they're doing a great job. Design people, the buildings are super.
They got a
You know,
personality.
we did all those designs, in-house, so our architecture and
Your
everything.
in-house designer?
Yeah, our in-house designer, Brian Turner, did all of that.
And I only saw one of the pavilions in the back, but I mean, it was falling down and it looks great, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna be a jewel.
It is.
And, I think everything's on target. You know, I think that, for that middle of May, to have everything open and the parking lot and everything done.
We done Blythe, we've done Deer Park, we've enhanced all those parks, we're adding more parks. Stewart Park we've enhanced. Joe, we've done a lot of things for our community.
Quality of
for our
life.
kids. In Black Bower, yeah, Black Bower Park and Jim Sharp Park, and we're just tackling.
Mosby Park.
Mosby
Stewart
Park and then Tinsley Park, we are upgrading, and I want to thank you again, you and the staff for.
No,
city
it
council
really,
support.
it's really the council that makes it all happen.
Yeah.
I will say, you know, when it comes to quality of life, that, you know, our curb appeal for our parks is very good. I think that, I probably would not hesitate as someone that drives around to small communities all over the southeast, that our park system, can stand toe to toe probably with any community, just on how they look and how they feel and the design, you know, whether it's Deer Park or whether it's Avery Johnson Park, whether it's the new inclusive Civitan Park, at Stewart. Like Oldfield's wonderful. I'm sure we're missing some that we're not even hitting. But,
Joe, I'm assuming that the landscape at Tinsley will be somewhat like Johnston Park.
I would say if you guys ask for that, then we'll make that happen sometime in the next 2 years. No, there is a robust landscaping budget for that. So we intend to, you know, I think we try to have very cost-effective landscaping approaches of using things that don't take a tremendous amount of maintenance. And, but for that park, our busiest park, with the number of people that will be coming in, is that we need something that's easy to maintain. There'll be irrigation systems, and it will pop from the landscaping standpoint.
We need for it to pop from Keith Street.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
You know, but I think my subtle comment was that it's not necessarily just a social mission to have nice parks and people to be able to see that, which is certainly is very good. It's really an economic issue that I believe in, is that when you have business people, when you have other residents come and look at you, usually the first two things that they look at is they'll drive around and they'll look at the schools. And our schools look very strong. then they'll go and drive around and look at some parks, even if they have no intention of ever setting foot in that park. People will just tend to do that just with, they like to have that option, that ability. And I think that, from my experience with business people and industrial people is it matters, and I think it helps bring in people. And I don't know, Doug, do you have any thoughts on that?
Ditto. You're absolutely correct. SK Food Group's a perfect example of their second visit. They wanted to see the community. And Deer Park was a good show that day because it was full of children. And in essence, what they're doing is that they're evaluating our ability to attract talent. Is this a place I can bring someone into and they'll want to live here and be a part of this community and our team?
We've heard you talk about quality of life many times, and
It's
it
the
is
most
very
important
important.
thing we can work on today for us to stay competitive in the broader marketplace.
As a engineer who's moved around the country, I will totally support him. When I was looking for jobs and offered jobs, I asked myself, would I want to live here? That was the most important part. The job was secondary. So I was totally agree. And that's why I moved here. I was a General Motors engineer up in Detroit, and I came down here to the Clay River. And I'm now retired down here.
And for the record, your name?
Margaret Wise.
All right, you can get that. We just stated it for the record. Anyone else? So, you know, we're putting the building blocks into our foundation, and it's been hard for the investment, and you know, we're there, and you know, it's like I said, it's not necessarily a social mission to provide parks, which is certainly, there's an element of that, but it's just really that healthy lifestyles and giving kids and families the opportunity to go and hang out and not have to spend money to go and do stuff. So anyway, you guys get all that. I think that's it, unless there's any question on any projects that we're working on right now.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Fivas? I think we need to review the agenda.
We have consent agenda item 7A, which is resolution 2623, authorizing the city to purchase a knuckle boom for the public works through the master intergovernmental cooperations between Peterson Industries. I want to have this opportunity, as the knuckle boom machines are the ones that go and pick that up, is that our people do such a wonderful job at picking up the solid waste. That is a service that is not provided anywhere that I've ever seen or heard of on what we do. And the reason that we're able to do that is just the efficiency in which Tommy and his crew have done that. So this is essentially adding to their equipment, and I'm going to take this opportunity, not necessarily on this item. Tommy, do you have any thoughts or feedback on your the program as far as picking up anything? Do we need more people or more equipment, or how are we doing with our growth?
Well, as the city is growing very much, so we will be adding more trucks and guys in the future for sure.
So this is not a replacement knuckle boom, it's a new one.
This is a replacement.
This is a replacement.
I've got one that I've got to get rid of. Yeah.
I'm just letting them plug that. That's just with the growth that's inevitable, and we're going to have some more routes and figure out how to do.
It's a wonderful service.
Yeah. It is a wonderful service for the county too, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Our partners.
We're picking up. I mean, they're just dumping it. So we've got problems with that too. So I'd ask you to address that too, because that's a huge cost to the city taxpayers on that part.
Yes, there's no question.
The bridge.
Yeah.
They just dump it everywhere.
Still a wonderful service for city.
It is. Item 7B is a resolution 2624 accepting Belcourt Drive and Belcourt Lane in the Belcourt Landing subdivisions. These, our engineers went out and they've met all the qualifications and standards to be accepted into the city. Approval, then they would be transferred over to the city. They've been paved and they're ready to go. They probably have 20 years before we'd have to address them, if not longer. 7C, authorizing resolution 2625, authorizing the submission of a request for federal community project funding in the amount of $1.7 million to assist with the implementation of the 3rd Street multimodal corridor. What this is we've talked about our program that we have, the funding that we feel hopefully comfortable with, is there's another leg of this that is unfunded right now. And it's the 3rd Street leg from where 3rd Street and goes all the way down to Key Street. Is that there's some work that needs to be done on that, right by the Boys and Girls Club, down through there, putting sidewalks through there. This is essentially a requesting a federal earmark to help pay for this. We think it's a strong application because we've done all the work, and we have all the designs, and we have a lot of that stuff. And so this is essentially we forward that on to Congressman Fleischman, and they would submit it, and then Congress would look at going through that to do that section of road. Item 7D, resolution 2626. This is authorization for our public entities partnership driver's safety matching grant. These are grants that we do every year. This is an annual thing that we buy equipment for driver safety. Sometimes it's handless phone operating systems, and sometimes it's backup equipment like beepers and stuff. It varies every year. We have change order for Cherokee number 5 redevelopment, and then we have the appointment of some board members. What you have in front of you is as an addition to the agenda. This is probably put it on the business item. Do they have this?
No, I don't have one. No.
Well,
Nope.
we will get you a copy, but it's really easy. This is another federal earmark project. And basically, it's all, you're not necessarily approving it, you're just basically giving a letter of support, a resolution of support for this. Essentially, there's different pots of money that you can ask money for. And this one is more in the transit funding. And as we talked before on the city taking over our street lights, that this provides is a request for $2.5 million to be able to construct or put together a facility to be able to hold our street light facility. Right now, Cleveland Utilities holds all the inventory, has all the offices, and essentially this would be that. Nothing's been determined as far as where it would be, but the money would certainly help us be able to come up with the new software and technology of completing this. We will get you a copy of that before you go. Essentially, all you're approving is just a resolution of support that we support sending this to Congress for their consideration.
Does it just go towards the technology, Joe? Or is it?
No, it goes to
brick
the,
and
it goes
mortar,
to, it goes to the construction of it.
Where are we talking about? Any idea?
Nothing's been determined.
Just applying, okay.
Yeah. So we would add that, Mayor.
Sure,
to
under new business.
New business.
Currently, there is nothing under new business, so that'll be our first item.
Yeah.
Council will add that under agenda item 10 is 10A.
And
And Christie, you'll get that to the council? Great.
And that's all I have for this, and unless there's any other questions.
Any other questions for Mr. Fivas for his city manager's update and review of the agenda? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Fivas. Takes us quickly to the reports of city council members. We begin today with the first district, Councilwoman McKenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to mention, keep Cleveland and Bradley County beautiful. We're gonna be very busy this weekend. Starting on Friday, they are going to have the Great American Luncheon. We will be celebrating 250 years of America. And that'll be on March the 20th at noon. And I believe we're gonna start serving lunch a few minutes before noon. Is that right, Alan? Yeah, but the speaker, which our special guest speaker is meteorologist Amy Catcher, who was previously with News Channel 9. So they'll be serving lunch a few minutes before 12, so you can come in, get your lunch, and get seated so that she can start speaking. And because we know that everybody's on a tight lunch schedule and want to get back to work. And here's some information here. You can see it's on Friday, March the 20th. At noon. You do need, the seating is limited, so you do need to RSVP by March the 17th. Okay, then on Saturday, the very next day, March the 21st, we're gonna have a tire recycling day. Of course, this is always good because this usually brings in several hundred tires that people have just laying around their house. It keeps them from being just discarded on the road or laying at the mailbox to be picked up from the city, which the city doesn't normally pick up tires. So this is a great opportunity for people to have tires laying around their house and they want to get rid of them. There's no charge, and it's on March the 21st. It's at, do we have that?
It's up there on the screen.
Is it up there? Okay. Because I was looking at this. Okay, so it's March the 21st. It starts at 8 a.m. till noon, and it's at the Bradley County Sheriff's Office at 2290 Blythe Avenue. And the tires must be clean. You can recycle up to 8 standard tires per vehicle. Cannot come but one time. There's no commercial drop-offs, no repeat drop-offs. The tires cannot be on rims or wheels. And this is sponsored by the Keep Cleveland Bradley County Beautiful, the City of Cleveland, the Stormwater Division, Bradley County Stormwater, Sheriff's Department, and Waste Connections. And also on that day, we're going to be having a 2026 tree giveaway day, and that will be at the Bradley County's North Farmers Market Pavilion at 290 Urbane Road Northeast, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can come out and get a tree sampling free, be no charge. Some of the varieties will be the Bur Oak, the Northern Red Oak, the River Birch, and the Eastern Redbud. So, like I said, we're going to have a busy weekend, and we're just inviting everybody to participate in these events. That's all I have, man.
Thank you, Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilman Estes is not here today. Councilman Cassida, the third district.
Yes, Mayor, I just have one thing. David, and for y'all's information, TDOT's out putting signs up down Georgetown Road for Highway 75, go to 75 in front of our neighborhood. So they're out there marking those roads now, just to let you guys know on that part. So accessibility. So they are out there right now. It's coming in there.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Great. Councilman May.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Goff.
Just a quick question about the new lights that are going to be on North Lee Highway eventually. I get calls often about the traffic with North Lee School in and out. I got another one today, and the request is, do we know a time frame of when the traffic lights may, I think that's maybe we've talked about the first one that will go on North Lee Highway, and do we have a time frame of when that could potentially happen?
We had a budget meeting this morning, and we were looking at at, 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 at the funding cycles, because we have, we have, I think, 5 traffic lights that we need to do. That being one, we have the traffic light at Stewart and Hardwick. What's that road called? Out in front of Hobby Lobby. I can't remember what that.
Yeah.
And then we have the traffic light on Stewart, where the new hospital is being constructed. Then we have a new traffic light out at exit 20 that we're looking at. Then we have the new traffic light at Frontage and Atkinson and Paul Huff. And then we'll have a new traffic light system put in, hopefully with the project that we're working on at 25th Street and Peerless. So our conversation this morning was trying to figure out which of those are in the first seat. And so what you're saying is that you're getting feedback on that, and we should consider putting that up towards the front of our funding list.
It would make my calls go down.
I will say, Joe, he stole my thunder. My report was gonna be the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Is it Charlie Miser who's called you by chance?
I've talked to him in the past. That wasn't the
Okay.
call I got. It wasn't the call I got today, but it's often I get a call. It's just a lot of especially with the school zone there and
Yeah.
a lot of traffic right there.
Third call's a charm. I got the same
We've
calls.
gotten a lot of feedback. I know that I've talked to the mayor a number of times. David, you're well aware of that one. That we will bring a proposal in the budget and we'll try to fit that in the best we can to get that in the next
Okay.
fiscal year.
That'd be great. Only other thing I wanted to mention is I know this intersection has come up in the past, but when you're leaving the mall on the North Lee Highway, just maybe consideration of a right turn only potentially. I don't know if that's a possibility or not. That's a continual problem with wrecks there. I spoke with the gentleman who owns the car wash across the street. Of course, they would prefer a traffic light, but I told them that's probably not an option. But right turn coming out of there, it's so hard to see with the big pole there, and I just want to mention that.
Yeah, we don't disagree with that. That there's a lot going on with that intersection. We have the traffic study that we're pouring through on how do we resolve all those traffic issues in the first, and that's one of the issue that keeps on popping up is there's that, and then the other side of coming out and how to deal with those movements on there. So, but the good news is that I think we have TDOT's attention on that. In fact, they sent an email last week that they want to do some more investigation on which is a good thing, is that they have their team trying to figure out, well, what fix does it look like here? And they're digging in because it's their road. And I think I don't know, David, you think they're pretty, it seems like they're pretty serious about trying to fit something in the future on that.
They have seen our traffic impact study for the development. They reviewed it, and they're very interested in the mitigations that it recommends. In addition to those, they're looking at alternative ideas to improve that entire corridor. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But that's a small piece of it, but there's a lot of people looking at that, and that might be a intermediate type of safety element until they decide. But the concern is they've talked about putting a traffic light there, and then there may be a traffic light there, potentially. But we don't want to do it until we know what the big plan is in the future. So you don't want to spend $500,000 and then have to rip it all out. So that's why we're trying to figure that out, but that might be an option if we look at the crash data in there. But that's been a problem for a long time, for a while.
Yeah.
Anything further, Councilman Goff?
No, sir.
Well, just to follow up and not to steal Councilman Moore's thunder, I'm also getting similar calls and emails And if you have to prioritize, and you're doing that now, the North Lee School was there far longer than Discount Tire or even Hobby Lobby or some of those others. That school's been there, and my emails are telling me it's been a problem for a long, long time, them stacking in the turn lanes. You've got a challenge. David knows the solution, but it's a county school in the city limits, and all of the improvements on Sequoia were paid for by the city. They wouldn't partner with us at all, even though it's their school and their problem. It really is a conundrum, for lack of a better word.
Just so everyone, so about 5 years ago, that was just a 2-lane road, and it would literally be gridlock. And, we went out and the city authorized us to make it a 3-lane road, which helped for a while. I mean, it's a lot better than what it was before.
A lot better.
Before it was just gridlock, because you couldn't get through it all. There is a solution, and we have communicated that with some work, that the county schools could get all of that traffic off of Sequoia into their own process. Now, I think it's inevitable that probably has to happen. And
Is there a mechanism that we can make it happen? Asking for a friend.
It's still a problem when you come from the neighborhood side.
Yeah.
Coming to school, getting out, it's still gridlock on that side. You're just
Yeah,
stuck
I
and you
don't
can't come
disagree.
over that hill.
It's just much better than it used to be.
What's the road
real
behind?
good rock.
What's the road behind the tire store? It's a side road.
Yeah.
I mean, have everybody stack on that road. The one that's behind the Rice and Go restaurant. I don't know what
Fairfield Farm Road.
Fairfield Farm Road.
The county had the same issue at Hopewell School, and they built some stacking lanes behind Hopewell.
We have a design do you have a design for that, David? So, and we may have to send a entourage to have some communications, because
Or cease and desist.
at the end of the day, the traffic light will help. It will be necessary. But
Agreed.
the issue is also that Sequoia, that you will need to be able to have free access of Sequoia with the amount of traffic going through there. And if there's a low dollar amount to just change some parking or stuff in the back, then
Thank you.
that would probably be helpful to everybody.
Very helpful.
Between Fairfield Farm Road, which is kind of narrow, but the road that goes adjacent to that behind, I think it's the Cleveland Tire storage units.
Mhm.
It's, right beside one street over from Sequoia. Maybe that's what you are talking about with stacking, but that would be helpful to go.
No, yeah, behind the school, I think it's all on their property, isn't it, David?
It is, you can get probably about at least half, if not more, of the Sequoia traffic on site. It's just one lane around the back. It's very similar to the way Hopewell used to be.
Okay. Well, anything we can do to push that would be fantastic.
Councilman Cast has asked for a comment.
Yeah, just a little history, for you, Mayor, on that part. We did talk about that when, Mr. Hughes was on that, about widening that road on North Lee and Sequatchie. And we came up with about $75,000. That's been many years ago. And I did go to the county, Tom Cry, and asked him if he would split it with us. And he said, no, it's a city road. Y'all need to fix it. So, and we fixed it.
Thank you for that history.
I just wanted to let you know.
History seems to repeat itself.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Webb, it's your turn.
Thank you, Mayor. One issue, Raven Drive and West Side. I know we have a new development going on in the corner there. But I've had another request. Could we go ahead and do something about the street lighting at that intersection of West Side? And some of the residents that are in the new development that's already there are having difficulty finding Raven Drive at night.
West Side and Raven?
And Raven, R-A-V-E-N.
E-N.
B-E-N.
If the request hasn't been put in, we'll make sure we'll make that a priority.
Could you check on that, please?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, and I think it was put in, but let me double check.
Okay.
I haven't heard back on it yet, though.
If you could just check, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. That's all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Moore.
No, other than to echo what Councilman Goff and Mayor had to say, for whatever reason, I got a call out of the blue last week about taking my kids from Northwood School, getting back out on Northwood Highway feels like they're taking their life into their own hands every time they pull out. Something along those lines. So it's a good topic.
I've had the same thought.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Councilman. All right, any other comments or questions from the council? Takes us to the announcements, of which there are none. It is 2:28. We will be adjourned for 32 minutes until our 3